Hey, welcome out there, Sputterers, to another episode of Dawn of Alderton. We are on, what was it, episode 9 now? Episode 9 of Dawn of Alderton. We've been doing this show a whole 2 months for you guys now. And so without further ado, let me introduce the man who runs this show, DM Snack King Joe. Take it away, Joe.
Hi, how's everyone doing tonight? Wow, that was really low energy. I'm sorry, hold on. Hey, hi!
Let's pull the energy up, guy. Act like you're give a damn.
I don't know, I was already didn't tell flat. My apologies, but I'm gonna be talking. I'll get in the groove of it. I want to hear from my marvelous, wonderful players because they're the reason we do this. Besides you, chat. And just randomly, we're gonna start with my rogue, Deirdre.
Did you have a question for us? If we're doing that question tradition.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, my B got excited. Question for all the players to answer tonight. If you could pick one superpower, what would it be? Take it away, Deirdre.
So, I'm Deirdre. I'm the rogue. I'm not very sneaky, but you know, fun to be around. I've been thinking about the superpower thing for a minute, and there's a couple answers I want to go with, but I think I'm going to go with telekinesis for pure laziness.
Oh,
like,
get out of
not
here.
being able to just pull things to me is awesome. Oh, that is all.
Excellent. Nothing wrong with a little laziness now and again. Let's jump over
I'm sorry.
to Thariel.
You can find me at FloralGypsy25 on Instagram.
Thank you, DM. What's up, chat? My name is Ryan. I'll be playing Zethariel Brightsong. That is the party's resident bard. You can find me at Kundalini Pasta on Twitter or on Instagram. And I'm going with my girl Deirdre here. I've thought about this question forever. My friends always ask me this, like, what would your superpower be? And it's definitely telekinesis. That is the pick. If I had to pick a different one, we're going like a metamorphosis. Like, think like Mystique from X-Men. That'd be pretty cool power. But telekinesis, easy. Excited to play tonight. Glad to have anybody in the chat. Welcome.
Wonderful. Let's jump over to Lucian.
Hey everybody, I'm Eric, playing Lucian, the resident doer of dirty deeds, just not for dirt cheap. You can find me at Nagatsu_Seiken pretty much everywhere. Feel free to hit me up. As for the powers, I don't... I have trouble limiting myself to just one. So
but that's the name of the game, bro.
I know, right? So I tend to go with the more sweeping power of matter manipulation. Being able to
reality bender.
Yeah, exactly. Just being able to break down anything that's made of matter and reshape it to however I want.
Excellent. That is
y'all thinking y'all overthink this question so hard, but continue.
Excellent. I like the idea of matter manipulation. It's close to where I'd land, but not where I'm thinking. Zasha, let's move to you.
Thank you, DM. Appreciate it. Glad to be here. Hi, guys. My name is Mitch. I play Zasha, the party's Great Flavor Dragonborn. You can find me on at IceF. You can find me on various gaming platforms as Icy Wiener, Doobie Daddy on Instagram, or, as I forgot to mention, I am Mitchy Mouse in chat on Twitch. So, nice to see y'all. Thank you.
And this whole time?
That's been me. Hi. Good to see y'all. But yeah, my superpower, I think, just going simple, just to fly. Because, you know, save my gas, save the transit, don't have to do those uphill walks. Come on now. Let's fly there. And thank you.
That's a great answer. I'm curious to what Severin's thinking, so let's jump over to Severin.
All right, hey, I am Dave, or as I am known on Tuesday nights for our flagship show, Cyber Nights, our Cyberpunk Red TTRPG show. I am DM Dave, but not here. I'm just Severin, the resident holier than thou, not because he knows it, but just because he is monk, Severin. And yes, so very, very contrary to the character I play in this game. If I could choose any superpower, not only am I going to tell you what I would pick, but what I would use it for. And that is, I would want Professor Xavier level telepathy, right? So I'm calling out a specific mutant for those of you who know. I'm a huge Marvel fan, by the way. Follow me on Marvel Snick Posting, which is my Facebook group for my Marvel memes. And so I've got a lot of original content there. Particularly proud of an AI fan casting I did recently. Made images of Cillian Murphy as Dr. Doom. So go check that out. That's on Marvel Snick Posting on Facebook. Snikt, SNIKT. Anyway, back to the power, right? Professor Xavier level telepathy, and nobody would ever know that I had this power. I would just be the reigning 10, 12, 15 time World Series of Poker champion. I would just be incredibly intuitive at the poker table. And that's it. That's all I'd do. That's all I'd be. And obviously, you know, rake in the fucking dough. Like I said, y'all way overthink it, man. I want matter manipulation. I want to completely shape the world. No. Just ride it easy. Just take advantage of the system.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. The system sucks, and we should definitely take advantage of it where we can. But let's jump to our last, not least, but definitely a player that keeps me on my toes every now and again, Clover.
Well, hello. Hi, everybody. My name is Emily. I play Clover, the Sprite Artificer, and on Tuesdays I play Lovelace, the Netrunner in Tech. You can find me on Instagram and in chats and whatever as Kitman66 for, you know, Instagram for mostly crocheting and digital art and garden pictures.
And that handsome beard.
It's, you know, start planting your fall seedlings, y'all. But the answer to my question, similar to Mitch, but I would do teleportation, you know, taking a nod from Deirdre, kind of the lazy version of flight. You know, you're just there rather than flying there.
Teleportation is an underrated power, I feel.
It is.
Great choice. It's definitely in my top 10, but not my number one.
Y'all see that movie with Hayden Christensen right after he did Attack of the Clones? Jumper?
Jumper.
Oh, man. Sorry.
Excellent. No, you're fine. But moving along. Hi, how you doing, everyone? My name's Joe, Snack King the DM. You can find me on the internet as Snack King, Snack King King, Snack King King, Snack King King King, Snack King King King, 486, or some variation of Snack and King. My power I would pick, and I don't think anyone else has even thought of this, I want the Joker's super sanity. To be so in touch with how the world works that you can just be this force of pure chaos. It sounds so freeing, and maybe I'm letting my evil side shine a little bit.
You just want to be so insane. It's a superpower. That's
I don't want to be.
It's actually no. He actually has super sanity in the comics.
No. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I'm just saying that's one of those things that was more like, let's actually give him a superpower because everybody else is superpowered and the Joker's just fucking nuts. So that was just somebody trying to write some reason to make it super nuts or something. Like that was, it almost feels like a cop-out power, I'm not gonna lie. In my opinion. But that we could probably have a whole other show about arguing over shit like this.
I was about to say, I'm biting my tongue literally from the guy who wants Xavier Powers to play poker. But it's okay.
I know, right?
It's all right.
Like maybe we should just like start planning this show out. Like it's just to argue over this shit.
Dave, I can argue about comics and pick the side I least like and still argue about it. But
I am down, dude. Let's set that aside for the writers' room next week.
And I'm about to say, I mean, this sounds like the makings of a great podcast.
I know, right? Like this is accidentally stumbling onto some possible gold that we need to discuss and or mine later.
Absolutely. But it's East Coast time, 11:11, make a wish. Before we jump into our recap, let's all take a moment and, I'm sorry, this is an unskippable ad. Thank you, our corporate sponsors, Dubby, Energy Drink of the Future. It is a powdered energy drink substance. I don't know what's in it, so I'm going to say substance. I know that sounded weird, so I'm just going to keep talking. It's derived from cocoa, or from the coffee fruit, not from the bean, as traditional coffee and other energy drinks are. I said it's cheerless. We talk about it every week. It's phenomenal. I literally just finished it.
I just took a sip.
I feel myself picking up. And I will tell you, like, it's one of those energy drinks that, like, if you drink it a little bit too close to bedtime, it doesn't keep you awake as long, or it's not as hard of a struggle to get to sleep with as other energy drinks. But I'm not going to beat a dead horse. Use our promo code PURPLE_NERPLE for 10% off and help support us here at Sputter Media.
And of course, the link is also in the chat right now. Yes.
Excellent. And I did tell my players I was going to give them a curveball right before we went live because I was feeling spunky. That's not the word I said. Feeling snarky and spunky and superstitious. S words. Superstitious. But Clover's going to give us our recap. Clover's going to give us the first half, and then we're going to jump to somebody else, actually. So, Clover, give us the first half of last session, please.
Well, that is, in fact, wildly spunky. I did not see that one coming. Okay. Good thing I posted my notes from last week. So we finished up our combat with the rogues. Some of them got killed, some of them made these weird noises and teleported away. Some killed themselves after Clover sprayed them with acid, which Clover is still kind of struggling with emotionally. That was a lot. She thought they were just going to disappear too. We found a whole bunch of loot. It was great. We found they had a tattoo with a Grim Reaper with a sickle and SA, so we're intuiting that it's the Sons of Alarim that are, stalking our caravan. Deidre was super metal and cut off a tattoo, even though, we have an artist on the team who probably could have drawn that. And then, is that my half? Then we return to the caravan.
Pause.
And
that
several
is your
wins.
Sorry, I was mid-sip when you asked that. But we're jumping over we're jumping over to Zathariel to finish it.
Okay, so after battle and after Deirdre was super metal, which was awesome, we took our spoils of war and we rejoined with the caravan. Bibble Babble was just tremendously unimpressed that we had done what we had, been okay in the battle. He was just like, okay. And then as the camp rested for the night, Bibble Babble was practicing his bardcraft, which is very inappropriate jokes. He's got a really twisted sense of humor, and I think we devolved into dead baby jokes from Bibble Babble. But it was we took the opportunity between myself and Deirdre to perform alongside him / show him up a little bit with our own super funny and not in any way corny D&D themed jokes. I think at the end of it, we'd succeeded in making him laugh,
Not at
which
all
was our
corny.
whole goal. Yeah, not at all corny. We'd succeeded in making him laugh, which I think was our goal. And I don't really remember exactly how we left things off.
That is about where we left things off. You had made him laugh, and you'd been invited up at his part of the caravan's camp to kind of make camp for the night and whatnot and hang out. He is with his entourage, and as we pick up into the scene, you notice that 2 backup bards have joined the Bibble Babble in his little makeshift stage, and he's gone from telling jokes to just singing Weird Al style songs that are incredibly raunchy. He opens up with one called PB, and it's about buttholes.
God damn it.
Oh yes, and let's just see how well he performs this actually. $14. It's all right. You know, the music is good. His flow and lyricism isn't the best, but he's able to keep in tune with the song. And I don't know if you're entertained by this, but there's 2 goblins stacked on top of each other singing about buttholes in front of you. Let's open it up to the cast. So what are you all doing? Let's start with Deirdre.
I'm listening and clapping along intently as though I'm enjoying myself. Although I am taking note of exactly what kinds of slurs he's using and what he's saying, just in case I need to use that information later.
He has switched from being offensive towards people to just being raunchy at this point, so he's not actually using slurs.
That's fair. Then I'm paying attention to the people around me as well and trying to see what they're not necessarily talking about, but what their facial expressions look like and what their gestures look like, so that I can move around if I need to find out what's going on in the camp.
There's plenty of space in this area. I just activated the scene so you can see it. There is Bibble Babble with the 2 bards, a drummer and a guitar player. Down on the little beach is Jim the blind dwarf, and then you have John Smith and Jay, who both have little, looks like booths set up, something you'd see at like a festival or a carnival that has some sort of business behind it.
Have we taken a long rest yet, or are we still waiting to take it?
The night is winding down. You can forgo all of this and long rest if you would like, but this is where you are at for the evening.
I would sit down in meditation and basically begin my prayers and i.e. my long rest procedure, but I kind of like it over here by the beach, and so
with Jim.
I guess.
Jim has a very about him. He's also blind, and Severin, he's probably accidentally poked you and apologized a few times and said, "I'm trying to catch me a crab."
Yeah, well, during my prayers, I was flagellating myself, so I'm sure. I mean,
you guys are getting along fine down there.
If he's blind, he probably just heard a lot of sounds of smacking and whipping and whatnot of Severin hitting himself with his own stick, but not really making too much noise because he's done this to himself quite a few times. He doesn't wince or squeal, so it's just the sound of, a stick hitting himself over and over again.
Cue that scene from that Tom Hanks movie about that book. I don't know the name of the movie. I'm drawing a blank. All right, never mind. That was a horrible reference. All right, Sasha, what are you doing in this scene?
I think being by the fire, I would have ended up seeing Severin. He's beating himself with a stick, but I've seen him do some crazy shit already in the last few days. I'd actually probably start walking around, and I would. Bibble Babble is doing his thing, right? He's preoccupied.
It's very obvious that Bibble Babble is he's practicing and forming his craft.
Yeah. Okay, well then I'd probably find, let's say maybe the driver. I would have been up front in the caravan during this time. I want to find the driver and just ask him, hey, like, how long do you think it'll take to get from here to, let's say, Cloudshire? I know it's been a few days here already, about a week. I haven't done this journey in this way.
Are you asking somebody?
Yeah, I was saying I would find the driver of the caravan, like the head of Bibble Babble's cart, if you will.
I'm sorry. The driver is Jay, and he is
Jay,
south of
yes. Jay, south of me. Okay, sorry. I don't see him from my point of view.
There you go.
Apologies.
There are some walls you'll have to walk around. Certain.
Oh yeah, this guy right here. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Yes, so I will walk up to him and I will ask him that question.
He obviously has a general store kind of set up, but it's not an average general store. There are, I would say, advanced adventuring gear here. It's climbing sets for going up the side of an ice wall, lava-resistant boots so you don't burn yourself. All very, very expensive items, but very specific items to, I need to brave this random elemental catastrophe that happens naturally. There's an umbrella of tornado sundering, so you don't fly away in a tornado.
Very situational, but very useful for dangerous situations. Yeah.
They all have price tags starting at the lowest would be 500 gold.
Oh, I think I wince a little at that as I ask him, noticing it on the sidewall.
You would notice the prices before the descriptions. It is obvious from as you approach the actual driver, he is in a finer linen suit. This is the kind of person that you'd get would be on like a city council or something. This person is made of money, but they're traveling with the caravan.
Okay. Well, I think I would continue with what I was saying, just asking him about, how far along are we in our journey?
Well, we're about a week into our journey, Mr. Dragonborn. Most people refer to you as Dragonborn, Mr. D. Respectively,
it's to be expected. Yeah, of course.
We're about a week in. We're expected to take, I know a couple course shortcuts. I know a couple wizard friends that'll help us with our journey. I'm expecting 2.5 months maximum, unless our pit stop takes us longer.
Now, I'm sorry, can you repeat that? Did you say 2.5 months?
Yeah, we're avoiding all the human tolls. Well, Bibble Babble told you it was extra time, right?
Oh no. I didn't expect the journey would be taking that long compared to. Okay. Well, thank you for the information.
Well, hold on. You don't need any of my goods?
Looking at his goods on the wall, do I see any bargain bin, 75% off? Yeah, the sales rack. Do I see anything like that?
You see there's a necklace that's only 7 silver pieces, and it looks vaguely like your holy symbol.
It looks like my holy symbol. Oh.
Yes.
I think after seeing that, and then, sorry, cut out there. Also noticing that it's also on the sale rack, 7 silver pieces. I'll point it out and be like, sure. Where did you find this piece here?
Oh, that? You're not the first Dragonborn I've come across, friend. You're a dwindling race, but there's, I think, about 15 down here in Alderton.
15. Holy shit. Which?
Hold on.
I'm sorry.
I will, hold on. Let me recorrect myself. I'm working on 25-year-old information. I can't be certain that all of them are alive and well, but at last count, 15.
Jeez. Well,
are you not part of the
certainly
clan?
given. I am not aware of any of this, sir. Good sir, please. I look for a chair and I grab my flask, my bottle, and like, please, sir, sit down. You see me pull out a notepad, pull out a quill, ink. I'm going the full ways if he decides to sit down, and we'll actually have a chat.
You see pure panic across his, or skip across his face for a split second, and then he's cool, collected businessman again, and he hands you the necklace. It's obvious that this was once your holy symbol that has now been melted by something and deformed a bit. But, you're not a skilled craftsman, but you know what it's supposed to look like. With the proper tools and a couple days' work, you could have this looking the way it's supposed to again.
Yeah.
He hands this to you and goes, "Listen, you're not part of the family, and I don't know why. You should be. I can't tell you anything, okay? The only thing I can tell you is, if you want answers, you gotta go deep." And he points down as he says that.
I look down at my shoes, my boots, my greaves.
Give me a history check, Sasha.
History check.
Oof.
That sounds about right.
It doesn't matter because everyone knows about the Underdark. It's part of the world. You know that there is a subterranean level of the world that isn't the surface world. You don't recall anything else other than it exists, but you know about it.
I gather that after about 2 or 3 seconds of silence, thinking he's talking about my boots, realizing, underneath. And I'll start slowly putting away my whole shebang here and being, is there really nothing else you can give me? I mean, sir, I've been...
Do you know your god?
I know them from dreams.
I'm not you. I cannot say about your people. I'm only saying this because your friend kind of pissed people babble off, and I thought it was funny, so...
He means well, so...
Bibble Babble is an asshole, but he makes me so much money, 100%. It's worth it.
No judgment.
None received, none given, sir.
Well, can I... No, I'll just say to him, well, I appreciate what you could give me, and I wouldn't want to put anybody at risk for my own sake.
Oh, I'm not putting myself at risk for your sake at all. That's not how business is done. But
no,
I see your type. I know what you do. You know, you got your divine interventions and please gods and doing prayers. just do. Yeah, you have that officially. Do your thing. And if any of your friends have money, send them over here. All right?
Yeah, for sure. I do appreciate the necklace here. You take care, and I'm sure I'll be seeing you on the roads ahead. Got to keep an eye out for those marauders, eh?
Yeah, marauders and toll men.
Yeah, them too. And I'll start walking away, a little flabbergasted and completely blindsided by the fact that there is multiple other Dragonborn apparently within this countryside, continent, if you will.
Absolutely.
And I'll start walking back to the fire, kind of gathering my thoughts. But let's see what other people are doing before I continue. I do want to
Exactly.
talk to Zath in particular later.
As that is side conversation is happening, Clover, what are you doing in this situation?
Clover is interested in getting to know some of the people that she's traveling with, so she's gonna walk over to this person with the cool tent. Or a cool caravan.
That is a elven gentleman standing in front of his tent that will give you a little salute. Ah, welcome. Hi, how can I do you?
Hi, I'm Clover. It's a pleasure to meet you. And she sticks out her hands.
He will
Come on.
bow respectfully. Oh, pleasure to meet you, Clover. Were you needing of my services?
Oh, well, what services do you provide?
I can tell you the future.
Oh, that's very interesting. And how much do you charge for that?
That is a delicate subject. What do you have to offer?
Well, I'm a tattoo artist. I could give you a tattoo.
Oh, I could never on this beautiful flesh. Please.
Well, I think it's just an accentuation of your beauty, but I don't know. Could I build you something? Is there something you need fixed?
Something I need fixed. You know, people normally offer me gold or items, but a task being done? Never. How? Can you steal me Bibblebabble's water skin? He keeps a wonderful moonshine in it, and it's the only thing that gets me tipsy. Elven heritage, you know.
You know what? Yeah, I think I can do that.
Alrighty.
All right, I will be back soon. And she'll return over here and you know, pretend to be interested in Bibble Babble's playing, but really look is do I see if his belongings are near him?
The only thing Bibblebabble wears is a water skin as a fanny pack on the top goblin.
Oh, okay.
Clover, as you're figuring that situation out, Lucian, what are you doing?
For the moment, excuse me. For the moment, I'm just sitting on top of some crates, kind of nursing a bottle of ale and looking fondly over at Bibble Babble, whose singing is reminding me of a bard that I happen to be quite fond of, Penny Bill, who sadly passed away quite a while ago. But I'm getting torn watching Severin flog himself. So after a while, I will make my way over to him and sit down next to Severin. And just after a few seconds, ask him if he's got a moment.
I am just in the middle of my rituals, but by all means, what can I do for you?
Just there's something about you that I'm trying to understand. With the Marauder attack on the caravan, it's very obvious that you've got no problem with kicking ass when the situation calls for it. And if I recall correctly, you believe that the suffering of the universe is a finite quantity, yeah?
Yes, that is what we believe.
So, I'm curious. I can understand, inflicting pain on yourself to reduce that universal burden, but when you've got evil people deserving of punishment, do you torture them at all?
My order is torture is not sanctioned. No. Part of my pilgrimage, when I encounter those who willingly cause suffering upon others, is to put an end to that suffering. And yes, violence is allowed to be used to do this. So those who are continuing the suffering must be stopped. That is part of my quest, part of my pilgrimage.
Hold that for 1 second.
Sure.
I'd like to jump over to Zethariel, who, as all these other players are moving around and whatnot, you're sitting here, you're watching Bibble Babble, and you notice Bibble Babble is staring at you the entire time him and his backup bards are playing. He is trying to instigate you. You just feel it in your bones, like this is a bard trying to instigate a bard.
I feel like Zethariel's pretty grossed out by this guy, honestly. Like, the only way he'd want to perform with him would be like kind of like Battle of the Bandit type energy. Like it'd be like a part, but like I feel like he's mostly disinterested at this point. Like, we did our jokes earlier, we had our back and forth. Like, Zath is kind of tired after the fight, low-key hungry, wishing he needs a glass of wine. But as he's observing Bibble Babble stare at him, he's gonna make eye contact and kind of smirk as he talks, but acknowledge Zasha as he walks up. I just feel like this guy's really full of it, isn't he?
Just a quick interjection.
Yeah.
There is a communal stew that the orc the boss has made that you are welcome to help yourself to. There's no free alcohol, but there is food.
Copy that. Like at the campfire, I'm assuming.
Yes, and the boss is very eagerly serving everyone and being like, "How's it taste, bud?"
As Zethariel begins this conversation with Zasha, that can be what they're doing while they're talking. Is like, Zath's definitely hungry and fiending for a glass of wine, so we're gonna go get some food while we have this conversation.
At that point, I would say Clover has rejoined the fire, and you see her approach.
Yeah, so this guy's really full of it, huh? Like, to Zasha, kind of acknowledging Clover as we walk over this way-ish.
And I'm just looking at him. Yeah, this is not my kind of comedy. So, hey, I got something to ask you. And actually, hello, Clover. Good to see you.
Hey guys, good to see you too. How's the stew? Have you tried it?
It's functionable. I don't know. I don't know exactly what the chunks floating in it are, but they waste not, want not. So
Zath would give you like a sharp elbow to the ribs and kind of gesture over to DeBoss, who's definitely going to be listening to see if we like his stew. Zath will take it. Yeah, go ahead.
I will say the stew is that the meat is cooked perfectly. It's well seasoned, but it's so fucking runny that it's hard to get all the flavors in every spoon. But otherwise, you're like, oh, if I could just get all these flavors in every spoon, it'd be perfect. It's like you're fishing for flavors as you. It has the potential, but it's not there yet. By the way, the boss is a 7'5" orc, pure muscle that has a chef's hat, a chef's apron, and then like a loincloth under it. And around his belt is all of like the tools a chef would use, like tongs, spatula, like a butcher's knife. And he's just like, how's my? He's super excited for any feedback, like almost like a Doberman, like drooling on himself.
Did he hear what I said? Because I didn't. I would not have realized even how big he is. Like, oh, geez.
That's why Zach
I
give
hope
you like
not.
the elbow.
Yeah. Upon seeing him, I'll just be like, "That was a great meal, sir. Thank you." A little cringe from the ribs, but
Taking a bite, Zath will be like, "It's delicious," and then turn around to face Clover with just a deadpan look of "This is not delicious" on my face.
Clover
you had a
will
question, Sasha?
use.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Clover. No,
I was
go ahead.
Oh,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
going to say Clover used prestidigitation to add some flavor to Zathariel's soup.
Best use of that spell.
Hell yeah.
There are hints of clover, star anise, and cinnamon, which make it a complete meal.
There you go.
Zath will just give her a fond smile of thanks.
Oh yeah, I guess
Well,
now
if
that
this
is
stew
the three
smells
of
good,
us.
I have.
Oh,
Go
sorry,
ahead.
Clover. Go right ahead. Go right ahead. No,
That was
you were still
Deirdre.
talking.
Deirdre, go ahead. What were you saying?
Oh, Deirdre, sorry.
If the stew smells that good, I'm gonna approach the thing and talk to the cook and have some stew.
It smells delicious,
Me too.
but when you try it, you're like, oh my god, this is missing like 4 things to make it perfect.
Would I potentially have those spices within my cook's utensils?
You would actually if you have cooked utensils.
I totally do.
How do you approach that situation? Do you just put them in a stew?
I
and
would
you
like
talk
to ask the cook if it's okay if I add a little bit of a spice to it, if he wouldn't mind.
Yeah, teach the boss. Tell me.
I'm not trying to teach you, I just don't know if you have those spices.
I got what's in the pot. Super excited.
So I pull out some like black pepper and some salt and maybe like some cumin or something, and I'm like, can I add just a little bit?
Yeah, and he hands you a scroll, an inkwell, and a quill. It's all written in Orcish, but you can very obviously tell this is his recipe. You can't, unless you can read Orcish, you can't understand it, but you just by looking at it, know
can't read
what it
Orcish.
is. Just write it down, yeah.
So I'm gonna write salt and write pepper in common. Salt, pepper, cumin. And then I'm just gonna add a dash of each of those to the stew and I'm gonna mix it around. I doubt I have flour unless you say I do in my cook's utensils so I can thicken it up a little.
This is a large cauldron. You'll need more than a dash. You'll need to
Okay.
You're gonna need to dip into your cook's utensils for this, if you actually want to make it better.
I'll just stick with the spices then. I don't want to necessarily lose stuff.
That's fine. The boss will take what you write down and go, oh, not Orcish, and then leaves the camp to try and decipher what you've written down. like a puppy with a plaything. Oh, I want this now, and just leaves the stew full broil over the fire. Doesn't care anymore. That's one less person listening to you at the campfire. As Deirdre, you notice.
Stew, I guess.
Well, you would notice that 3 of your compatriots are standing there, kind of looking a little disappointed.
I'm sorry.
Well, not you and their food.
Oh, come over and get some spice. Come here.
Oh, hell yeah. Sasha would definitely go over seeing the approach of salt. Yes, that's what this needs. Thank you, Idra. Much appreciated.
Of course, you can't not season your food.
At this point, Bibble Babble has switched his song into an old elven hymn about battle and courage.
I listen intently. I do speak Elven.
Do I know this? I have I'm of Elvish descent. So, like, would I know the song?
Oh yeah, this is like a traditional, like, this is played at every Elven get together. It's like one of those songs, and he's doing it some justice. He there's obviously, as a goblin, there's certain pronunciations that he's not hitting, but beyond that, you are slightly impressed.
I'm getting totally baited by this choice of song. Like, Zath can probably not.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, like
You know, he's still making eye contact, and he picked the song, and like certain pronunciations, the way you do, like, masculine or feminine within Elvish, he's definitely choosing masculine versions, as he is both sets of eyes deadlocked on you, hand motions and everything.
With a sigh, Zath will set his bowl of stew on the ground and just start to like pick up the song wherever Bibble Babble is, pointedly not choosing to play the flute here. He's going to outdo this guy without having to play his instrument, and this was not the song to pick. If apparently this is something that I've known since I was like young, and I definitely like know what's up with this, so I'll pick the vocal lineup that he is mispronouncing and like singing kind of haphazardly, and just go to outperform him on that.
Roll me a performance check.
I would like to guide Zath, seeing him whip out his lute and seeing what he's about to do. I would like to cast guidance on him. You got
add a D4.
Add a D4.
Got it. Let's see this guy.
Just
pat him on the back.
Just roll D4. You attempt to jump in, but you're a little frustrated, and you don't hit it the way you want to. Like you make your strides, but Bibble Babble's like, no, that's not how you pronounce that, bud. And you can see it in his eyes. Clover, Bibble Babble is locked. You can see locked eyes with Zathariel right now.
I'm so nervous about all of this. Okay.
Clover, give me a perception check, actually.
Okay.
So you're standing here, you notice the song change, Bibble Babble obviously turns and like laser beam focuses on Zathariel, who then Zathariel is just like, oh no, fuck this is my people's song, and steps up and starts to sing. They are locked in like a bard off right now. Zasha is attempting to give guidance, so he is praying to his deity, focusing on Zathariel. Deirdre is focusing on this stew that she's somehow been left in charge of, and the two random goblins that are playing behind Bibble Babble, you can very much tell are like, we're getting paid to be here, so we're gonna do a good job. The coast looks clear.
Okay. Actually, Clover's gonna cast Thaumaturgy and do like maybe like a fog and like lightning effect to give some lighting to their performance, add some craziness to the mix, and then sneak over.
Roll me a stealth check. Or look at your racial abilities.
Or just roll a 19.
You create this fog effect that's probably about like waist high, and there's like mini thunder in it, and it's adding to the song, and you're just like, I'm small. I'm not. You don't even fly. You just walk over within your own little clouds. No one's paying attention to you, Clover.
Okay, I unhook the water skin.
Give me a sleight of hand check. Roll with advantage.
Oof.
All right, hold on 1 second.
The dice are being sashed tonight.
A little bit, yeah.
I'm so salty I missed my performance.
You see the clip that's holding the water skin there. You unclip it. You think for a second that the lower goblin eyes you, but you're not sure. Clover, what are you doing?
I guess I'm gonna continue to try to take it, like unclip it and take it off.
You get it off the you get the water skin off of the webble.
Okay, I stealth away and hide behind Sasha.
Excellent. There is this very intense sing-off between Bibble Babble and Zathariel. Out of nowhere, this waist-high sea of clouds appears. Zasha, maybe it's not waist-high, maybe it's a little bit lower. You're a little bit taller than everyone. But it's, basically around waist-high, and there's lightning effects and whatnot. And it's very dramatic. And then out of nowhere, you hear, "Oh my god!" as the boss comes running back and goes, "I forgot the onion!" And then throws 3 unpeeled, uncut onions into the stew. Zathariel and Deirdre, you're both standing right there. I need a dexterity saving throw as hot soup comes flying at you.
I lift up my shield.
Oh no!
Oh boy.
And Deirdre, please.
What is
Oh,
happening?
gosh.
Wow.
Get him out now.
You take 2 points of acid damage as this molten hot soup is flying out and splashes upon you. You're like, what the fuck? And totally interrupts the vibe. The clouds disappear. Babble's like, what the fuck, the boss? We're trying to fucking sing! It starts screaming obscenities. It's a total nightmare of a situation. What are you all doing? Deirdre, you are manning the soup, so what are you doing?
If I'm burning, I'm trying to wipe the hot soup off of me real quick. And then hopefully grab the onions so that I can cut them before they go in the stew.
Oh, no, they are in the stew, just like bobbing around.
Okay, but I have a ladle or something, a wooden spoon, right? Like, can I fish them out?
If that's what you would like to do, yes. It'll take you a little bit of time, but you can fish out the onions. And if you want to show the boss, he is willing to learn.
Okay, I will take the time to take out the onions and be like, "Hey, friend," and peel them and show him like how it will make it better for the stew.
No, you eat like candy, and he pulls a raw one out and eats it like an apple, like in its entirety in front of you in like 2 bites. Doesn't even cry.
Okay.
Just like, onion good, yeah?
And then I would go, "Okay, but look," and I would just take the skin off of one of the onions and have it as a raw onion, and I'd bite out of it like an apple and chew on it and be like, "Yeah, see, better without the skin. Try it."
Give me a constitution check. Deirdre.
Okay. That's fair.
For this molten hot, freshly peeled raw onion.
It's more so the raw onion factor, because it's hard to bite into raw.
Wow.
Ores are
Ores,
dominating
that's
tonight.
bad.
Deirdre, you bite into the onion and immediately start just crying. You're like, "It's so good." And he's like, "No, you lie. You cry. You cry." The boss is literally pointing.
Fine, because I'm happy. Here, try it.
Oh, he eats it in
Do
one
you want me to
bite.
make a deception check?
You can't pass that right now. You're literally crying tears because of the onion. The boss takes the onion, eats it in front of you like it's nothing. Zathariel, what are you doing while that shit's happening?
Yeah, well, totally thrown off by the molten soup splashing all over me. So same as with Deirdre, would like, frantically go to wipe it off. Now that the vibe is kind of broken and the song isn't playing anymore and Bibble Babble's Rabba Rabba Rabba, he would like use prestidigitation to clean my clothes and like a humph down the front, like wipe it off of me very dramatically, and I'm clean again. and then approach over to Bilbo while he's yelling and just be like, look, hold on. Well, let's start this from the top because you're doing it all wrong. And just like kind of look over to his accompanying homies and like count them in and pull out the flute with the flourish and start to play the song that Bibble Babble was just playing. But like, my pride has been pricked by this whole exchange. Like, I'm laying into this. Like, this is about to move the whole camp if possible, because it's like an old elven hymn, you know?
So go ahead and give me your performance check. I'll roll for Bill Babble in a second. Zasha, what are you doing when this all happens?
Well, seeing this giant just come and splash my teammates, but seeing that they're also okay and they're now focused on their own things, I guess I'm gonna. Do I see Clover? She was stealthing around. Do I see her behind me?
Your perception is not high enough.
I don't even see her. Jeez. Well, feeling alone now and still shocked by what just happened with the driver, Jay, I guess I'm gonna go wander over, make sure that Severin's still okay and Lucy is too. I see them talking after Severin just flogged himself. Okay, well, they're okay. And I'll move by him, and I'm just gonna take like a 10-15 foot. I'll just do it around the caravan at this time. I need a walk to clear my head anyways, and I'm looking at the stars. I'm walking around the caravan, just making sure there's nobody sneaking up on us, but I'm not gonna get too far. 10-15 feet around the entire camp, and that's what I'm doing. I don't know anybody else is around.
That's fine. Clover, you move safely behind your giant friend Zasha, who then goes, "Oh, well, I'm alone," and wanders the fuck off. What are you doing?
I am dashing to get out of sight and towards, or I guess flying swiftly to, yes, John Smith.
It is a very unique elven spelling, but his name is John Smith, yes. That is a great place for us to pause and take our mid-game break.
Excellent. So, if everybody will just stay tuned and have a good old time while we are on our 10-minute break, we will be back in just a few, ladies and gentlemen.
See you soon, chat.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your patience. Let me kick it right back on over to DM Snack King Joe.
Hi! So Lucian had approached Severin on the little riverbank here to have some alone question time. Some shenanigans have happened. Let's jump back over to Lucian and Severin and their conversation. So, Lucian, go ahead, take it away.
Well, far be it for me to question your beliefs and ethics, but I will leave you with this thought that if suffering is indeed finite, then it is an economy. And
there's the rub.
To not indulge in the suffering of the wicked, of those who deserve it, you're basically throwing money away.
I'm trying to figure out how to RP informed consent here. Yes, I take suffering upon myself gladly, and will torture myself because I have chosen and accepted that to take this upon myself. But somebody who is forcing that suffering upon other people, they just need to be stopped. If you're suggesting that I engage in torture because I'm throwing money away, well, no. Then I become the thing that that needs to be destroyed. the thing that needs to be stopped.
I would argue that your targets matter because
They do. I don't think we're. You may have a misunderstanding of the situation here, because 100% I can unleash fury upon somebody who deserves it. Like I don't. What's your question?
it's not so much a question as an observation.
But engaging in torture is still, there's no moral gray area. There's a ambiguity when it comes to, okay, well, you're using violence to stop violence, but there's no ambiguity of engaging in torture, in relishing the suffering of others.
Well, I'm not telling you to enjoy it, but
You just want me to do it more, and you want to target me in a specific direction as though I were your weapon.
not even that.
It was what you were suggesting. To be
Not really.
judicious with who deserves suffering and who does not. Nobody deserves it. But sometimes it must be put to an end.
I'm
What I'm-
suffering. I can't find a crab. Jim.
I mean, we really want to get into the moralistics of my entire religion. That could also probably be its own podcast.
True. Fair enough. Like I said, I mean, I'm not trying to change your religion or how you practice it.
But you were suggesting that there are certain people who should have suffering thrust upon them. I disagree with that statement. Fundamentally. Nobody deserves it. But sometimes there are people who spread it and must be stopped.
Fair enough. As he will, then.
All right. Well, that was our philosophy night.
You both grow kind of quiet and contemplate the conversation you just have, and watch Jim attempt to chase a crab, which is just a leaf in the wind. He goes, "I almost got it, boys! It's a crab." There's no crabs on this beach. This is not a beach that has crabs, but he is so certain. You're like, I kind of hope he finds a crab. As that's all happening, and the shenanigans at the fireplace, where Zathariel is severely outperformed by Bibble Babble, who's just nailing all of the Elven accents out of nowhere. Zathariel is just half a beat off for some reason. Not his normal. It's unfortunate, but, dice tell a story, and we are all slaves to the dice. But, Clover, you had slunked away with your treasure, Bibble Babble's water skin.
Yes, I did. I will, proudly display it to John Smith.
Oh! You did it!
Yeah, I sure did. Good to
You
my
sound
word.
surprised.
No one ever crosses Bibble Babble. You are a creative little fae, aren't you? Well, please come in. And John Smith will slink back behind his seer's orb that is on his table, and he asks you to touch it with both hands.
Okay, I'll go up and touch it.
Give me a wisdom check. You
18.
feel an intense pull from the crystal orb you're holding, but you're able to resist it and turn your gaze up to John Smith, who his mouth is kind of open. He goes, "Oh, weren't you a clever little fae? All right. Fuck. God damn it." This guy's very flustered right now. You were not supposed to do what you just did. It is very obvious to you. He's just like, "Oh fuck, I gotta fucking do this for real now." All right. He shoos your hands away, and he waves his hands over the orb, and this smoke begins to fill it from the bottom up, and it changes colors. It goes from rainbows to strobing to Christmas lights, and it's very enchanting and engaging. And you hear him mutter some sort of incantation. He's obviously casting a spell, and the tent you're in, the top slowly dissipates into a bright beam of orange light that is like a flashlight into the dark onto where you were standing. And he goes, "Speak. You have one question to ask my god." You can roll an Arcana check right now to understand what's happening if you'd like, Clover.
That would be great.
You don't understand divine magic, but you do understand that divine magic answers to some sort of entity, and John Smith has called upon his deity to answer your question. That is as much information as you understand about what's happening.
Okay, well, I will ask you, how do I help my friend Bantor? How do I fix his hands?
Replacement. The words echo. Somebody is screaming within your ears to the tent. Replacement, 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 replacement. Until, after 5 seconds, there's just silence. You don't hear the creak. You don't hear the sound of the candles and the torches around you. You can see John Smith moving his lips, and you hear nothing. And then slowly, as if, standing too close to the speakers at a concert, your hearing starts to come back in a smothered voice. "And that's why I don't normally let this happen. But obviously, as a small fae, I have to help you. Did you understand your answer?"
Yes, I did. Thank you for actually doing what you said you would.
I'm an elf. I'm not an idiot. You don't trick a fae. They trick you.
I'm glad you understand. And that's when she reveals that it was actually her own water skin filled with water.
Did you actually hand him your water skin?
Was it identical to Bibble Babbles? I will let you...
Unlikely.
Yes.
That's...
Bibble Babble had a very specific
Okay.
I mean, just in general, those things were not made like Prada bags here. Like they were literally just bags of skin sewn together, and yeah, unlikely that yours would have been identical to his. Just saying.
Okay, I tried. Alright, I guess she will, thank you for your time and go back to the group.
At this point, it's obvious that you have maybe not overstayed your welcome at Bibbleville's camp, but he is an asshole and is asserting himself upon the group, and you would all find yourself just naturally retreating back to the end where the caravan your stuff was placed at is.
As Zathariel walks back to wherever it is I'm going to sleep for the night, he will be playing a song / singing a song, a derogatory song about 2 goblins.
Give me a performance check.
Watch it be a nat 20.
Does being good at this a good thing?
I don't know.
You,
But that's what we're doing.
You walk down the caravan line. What instrument are you playing?
The flute.
You are, twiddling on your flute, interjecting lyrics here and there. And to those that are wise enough or smart enough to understand the double entendres you're using, it's definitely a slight at babble, but you are creative enough that the average folk is like, oh, look at him, he's being funny. Whereas the smart folk are like, oh, he's making fun of babble. That's hilarious. If you had rolled lower, it would have been very obvious. People are like, oh, wow, he's being a dick. But, like, no, you're being clever enough that people are like, all right, cool, I respect it, man. Like, he is an asshole, and I agree with that. But the group will conjure at the end of the caravan at your own personal caravan that you were sharing half of. There is the left side
I actually have lyrics for this song.
You have anti-goblin lyrics.
I do.
Hit me.
So they are not original. I am borrowing from a very, very well-known feminist poet named Christina Rossetti from the Victorian era. And it is called Goblin Market. Morning and evening, mates heard the goblins cry. Come buy our orchard fruits, come buy, come buy. Apples and quinces, lemons and oranges, plump unpecked cherries, melons and raspberries, bloom down-cheeked peaches, swart-headed mulberries, wild freeborn cranberries, crab apples, dewberries, pineapples, blackberries, apricots, strawberries, all ripe together in summer weather. Morns that pass by, fair eves that fly, come by, come by. Honestly, I would go on. There's a very, very long poem, but it's one long it's basically an allegory for lesbian sex and being in love with a woman and being tempted by men when you can't be with the one you love because it was very illegal to have same-sex relationships in the Victorian era. Oh, sorry. Did I just drop some knowledge on y'all?
All right, excellent. So, if you have not yet, you can go ahead and take a long rest in Foundry. I believe you had some things you wanted to discuss with the group during, before, or after that long rest, correct?
Yeah, no. I think it would be probably in the morning. I went for a walk, and I'll just say, holding both my holy symbol and now this half-melted other holy symbol I got from Jay, I'd look up at the same star that I always look at when I say my prayers and just ask, Lamvan, Platinum One, where are you taking me? And then, after the long rest, I go to bed. Everybody goes to bed. After the long rest, I'll wake up in the morning, and I guess as everybody starts gathering, getting their blurry eyes out, we're having coffee. I'm frying up some meat, my usual.
Is there any chance whatsoever Severin heard Zasha say the words, Platinum One, where are you taking me?
No, I would have been like out in the woods doing my thing. I was patrolling basically before heading to bed, so I doubt so, unless you were following me.
I mean, I don't want to say like, yeah, I was following you just for the sake of meta, but you know, I would have had a response for that. So I was curious.
You were having your philosophy debate with Lucian and watching that guy chase crabs.
Right? Yeah, no, but middle of the night. Anyway, doesn't matter. I was just wondering if it was possible. It's not. Cool.
Yes. But you all awake the next morning. Zasha is frying up some breakfast as you wipe the slumber from your eyes. Zasha, go ahead and take it away.
Just to clarify, DM, like we're in a circle, like our party. Is there anybody listening in at all? I don't care if they're 5, 10, 15 feet away. Is there anybody around us, or are we in like our own little campfire?
You are in your own private little campfire.
I kind of thought, for point of clarification, when you said we'd overstayed our welcome at Dibble Dabble's freaking caravan, I thought they were abandoning us.
No, his camp. We were at his like
camp,
personal area.
Oh,
No.
I thought they were taking off and leaving us in the dust.
To clarify, every wagon had its own private little area to camp, so you could enjoy some bit of privacy. But you were all close enough together that if something was to happen, and like a fight broke out, the next camp would obviously hear that and react appropriately.
Oh damn! I was kind of hoping they took off without us.
Anyways, thank you, DM. I would, as the morning's going on here, and with people starting to arrive, I would ask, or I'd say straight out, if there's nobody listening, look, guys, it's been a fun day and a half, 2 days, but we got something to talk about here. When I first arrived, and where you met me in Ailerim, I didn't arrive by foot. I took some magical means. One of the higher ups sent us. There's a big group of us. We ended up at the garrison almost immediately. I was just informed this journey is going to take upwards of 2 to 3 months. Now, before anybody freaks out, we're avoiding the human tolls. That's a thing. And unless somebody here is sitting on a massive gold pile or is an expert negotiator with the government, like I don't know if 2 or 3 months is what we're looking for to get there.
Or is it human?
To interject, in response to Zasha mentioning the human tolls, everyone can roll a history check. It is also an exceptionally misty morning.
Okay.
History.
Okay.
Hey.
Finally. No, this is the first time I've rolled a history check that I'm pretty sure I'm going to succeed at.
And you also get a history check as well in response to what you're saying.
I do? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Just to ascertain how much information you're actually...
No, I'm just saying I'm proficient in history, and I have biffed every freaking history check in this game.
Until now,
the last 8 episodes.
5. 5. Didn't matter.
Zasha and Lucian, you both know that there are toll routes, which are the most common routes between settlements and cities. Typically, they are manned by some sort of human host. Deirdre, Zathariel, and Clover, you know that these toll booths, they rotate. There's a couple different ones that they use, and they always change it so that people who try to circumnavigate the tolls still get caught. Severin, you specifically know, as who you are, that there are toll routes that are the quickest possible route between point A to point B. There are roundabout locations, and then out of the fucking way routes that, yes, they'll take you twice as long, but they are the most secure and the most secretive of routes because no one fucking patrols them because there's no major hub, there's no major city. There might be a few outlier villages, but beyond that, if you take these routes, no one knows you're there.
All right, so I know some really good routes, which makes sense, being as specifically studied in history as I was in my upbringing. However, I also wanted to ask, would the toll routes be applied the same for small groups of travelers on foot versus caravans and wagons and stuff? Because typically those kinds of tolls tend to be more like transporting goods tariffs rather than I'm walking here, you know. So I'm curious specifically if these tolls that you're referring to were more of a concern for the caravan than they would have been for us by ourselves.
With your nat 20, you would understand that with the caravan, the tolls are a thing. If you're just a group of people walking, maybe a couple silver at most if the guards are yearning for a drink.
Mm-hmm.
But 9 times out of 10, if you're polite and cordial to the quote unquote toll collector, maybe a couple copper.
I'll share this with the group. With the combined knowledge that you just shared with me, that I know some routes that would be more appropriate for us not being part of a caravan, and B, if we come across tolls like that, as long as we mind our P's and Q's and pay off the right guards, we'll be okay, and it's going to be relatively cheap. I will share that with the party for sure.
I will also interject one additional piece of information. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
From where you're at to where the quote-unquote toll path is, you would know the quickest quote-unquote shortcut to get back on the quickest path as well.
Right, and it's obviously there are paths that we can take on foot that caravans can't take because of terrain and whatnot. And if we're willing to put in a little extra oomph and go across some difficult terrain, we can certainly cut that month's plan into several weeks, I'm sure. We will move more efficiently as a smaller group than sticking with the caravan is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, you have the safety in numbers with the caravan, but for sake of travel, you can travel at
safety in numbers. Safety in numbers is only, and again, this is part of what I'm sharing with the group here, of my insights. Safety in numbers is only valuable when you trust those numbers. And based on some of the things that happened last night, some of what I might be aware of, some of I just might have overheard, it sounds like there's some real trust issues at play here in this group. With the goblin caravan leader and all that stuff. Not our group, obviously.
Yes, it's blatantly obvious that the caravan leader doesn't really care about y'all and is actively trying to provoke one of your members.
Okay,
so that is something that you is
so that is that's a concern. And I think that being in the caravan has become more of a liability. It was a great way to get out of the city, but we probably don't need to follow them on their route.
Yes, absolutely. So,
but yeah, I want to hear what other people say.
Yeah. Let's jump to the rest of the group. Let's start with Lucian. What do you think? Severin has just shared all this information. You're all aware of everything we've just talked about. What do you think?
Well, considering that our ultimate destination is to the northwest, honestly, I think the simplest solution is the most direct one. Just break off from the caravan and start heading northwest.
Well, somebody wanted to go to Cloudshire for a reason, right? I don't want to detract whoever that was from their goal.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, the other thing is that the only reason I wanted to go to Cloudshire is I don't know when the last time either of you have looked at a map, but I looked at a map fairly recently, a few days ago, before getting fired.
Mm-hmm.
Before leaving. But yeah, before that, I looked at a map, and to get to where we're supposed to go for you, Severin, that's several months' journey too. Are we really going to do that on foot? Like.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know,
so we might be able to find a better mode of transportation in Cloudshire. Is why you wanted to go there, right? We might be able to find something to expedite our journey to the desert.
To clarify,
it's a weaker.
To clarify, Zasha had some leads in Cloudshire that would make your travel to your destination in the Northwest easier and more well prepared.
Right. So
Yes,
that was a
just
valid
bringing
reason
that
to head to Cloudshire before going into the bigger desert.
I will say in character that, hey, like I know a few people, the city might be run a little differently than what you're used to. We might actually be able to get some help there.
Yeah, I'm all for hitting Cloudshire before going to the desert. I don't think we need to just break off straight for the Northwest. Besides, I think that there's a lot of questions that we still need answers to before we try to jump to the end of all of this. So I'm with Zasha. We go to Cloudshire first, see if his contacts are helpful.
Zath would have been just kind of like reservedly listening to you guys debate this. He took a beating last night. He's pensive this morning. He would turn his attention to Clover and says, what say you, Clover?
Clover takes out her map out of her backpack and then realizes it's far too small to be helpful to anyone but her. And says, I'm in agreement with Sasha and Severin on going to Cloudshire first. I think we need to be prepared for our long journey. But I'd like to stay with the caravan. We know people are following us, and
I think the caravan is a liability at this point, which is what I'm trying to express.
So,
okay.
Based off that, why doesn't everyone give me an insight check?
Right?
Okie day.
Oh, damn it, dude.
And that's everyone.
Be good for something,
please.
I have a inspiration, correct? That I haven't burned?
So, before you even say anything, you all rolled high enough to understand that, like, yes, the caravan does provide a bit of protection in numbers, but at the same time, it's a caravan that is going out of its way to avoid human tolls and putting itself in danger of marauders and bandits and whatever random shit might happen in the wilderness. If you were to take a more direct route, it's going to be safer because it's patrolled by guards more often. Especially considering you're 6 people on foot, like, you don't, like, marauders might attack you, but you've held them off before.
Okay, yeah. After having that,
we're also a smaller target.
Clover is much more amenable to breaking off as long as we're still headed to Cloudshire.
Yeah.
I will bring up, too, Zasha would say, now that everybody's kind of getting on board with it, I'll look over at Deidre specifically and be like, Deidre, I know you were the one, your contacts got us this caravan. Do you have any qualms, issues, concerns about leaving? Do you have cousins or whatever still on this route that you need to be with?
Well, I'm supposed to get with another caravan, and that's the one I got as a contract for. We're on this caravan now. If we were even to be able to catch up to them, we might still be able to join them, but you definitely have to sign the contract.
Deirdre,
But the contract said that as long as you fight for them, you don't have to pay the gold. So
That's what Devil's with the.
So hold on, everyone.
Devil's always in the details there.
Deirdre, give me an intelligence check with advantage. You have traveled on many of different caravans throughout your life.
I wanted to have the talk with Deidre and Zath. They've probably traveled a lot. I don't know enough about Lucian.
Give me it was advanced, so give me a second one.
My computer's not letting me click things. It was my bad. That was a little better. I'm rolling terrible this game.
So no. Deirdre, as you're talking to your friends, you peek up and you're like, hold on, wait a second. I don't hear other fires. I don't hear other, beasts of burden. And you make your way to the end of the specific cart you were a part of, and you realize you guys were fucking left.
Called, yeah.
There's a sign that says, "Get fucked, elf bitch, bibble babble."
God damn it.
It's all Zaph's fault.
God damn it, dude.
So we've been sitting here making breakfast, and they just took off on us.
Not only did they take off on you, they spent the time to cast spells to keep you secure so they could leave you. These people went out of their way to fuck you over, FYI.
I'm not gonna lie. Not only did I call it, I actually said I hoped this would happen, and it did. I manifested this.
I would head back to the camp and be like, well, it doesn't matter if we want to stay with the caravan or not. We aren't anymore.
Choo-choo, join the railroad.
So the horses and oxen that you had pulling your cart, they're gone. You have no choice but to travel on foot to your destination.
So before Severin starts walking in a direction, do I know what direction I need to start walking so that we are... You mentioned I knew some routes, right?
So Clover has a map.
Uh-huh.
I will allow you to make a survival check with advantage to determine the correct direction to reach Cloudshire.
I am on it like Donkey Kong it.
Actually, if I remember right, you already know the direction to the most direct route because of your natural 20.
Well, I'm still gonna roll and have some fun, and if the DM tells me I can roll something, I'm gonna damn roll it.
All right, fair enough.
So that's oh shit! Thank God I have advantage.
You should listen to Lucian.
No. Oh my God! What? No, but I do have an inspiration, and will use it here.
Didn't you use it? Oh no, you didn't.
No, he told me not to. 18. Woo!
So Deirdre comes back.
I'm sorry. That was so awesome. I'm like a 2, a 1, and then inspiration to come back with an 18. That was great.
So Deirdre comes back and explains the situation, and Severin goes, "Wait, hold on, I know where we're going," and then proceeds to walk into the smoke surrounding your little camp. Walks in a circle, dispelling it, and Clover's like, "Wait, I have a map, which you grab." And obviously it's not the same map you're used to. She's a much smaller creature. But you are a son of...
I have the observant feat, which allows me to be able to, read lips from 30 feet away. Would you say that the fact that I have that ability would allow me to be able to dial in on the tiny minutia of Miss Clover's little map?
It's not that you... are able to hone in on those details. It's that you have been so removed from the information, the map helps orient you in the correct path. So you look at the map and you go, okay, I maybe can't make out the...
So you're trying to RP out the failures instead of the replacing the role that the inspiration does.
Yeah, so
I see what you're doing. Okay, I was confused for a second.
And Clover offers you this map, and you're like, wait, hold on, this is exactly what I needed to orient myself. And you turn almost like a clockwork little organism and go, this is the path, friends. And yes, you're going to be off path for a couple days, 2, maybe 3 at the most, you recommend. But once you hit that guarded path, you shouldn't have any problems, again, as long as you're polite and courteous to the guards you encounter.
All right. Is there a amount of time or a roll that I could make in order to make sure that I don't have to look at the map again to make sure I'm going in the right direction? I want to make sure that was the last time I looked at the map.
You will have to make it's a relatively easy check, but
I'm just
every
wondering what
day,
it is.
if you're not going to use the map every day, you're gonna have to roll.
No,
survival.
that's what I'm wondering is like how long do I need to sit here and look at the map so that it is the last time I look at the map, or is there a roll that I can make to be like, yep, that was the last time I had to look at the map?
Do you have keen mind?
Yeah, if you
I
had
do
to
not. I have observant and alert.
So
A little different there, buddy.
I know.
If you had the keen mind feat, you would be able to make a check once.
Okay.
But it's as long as every morning you take a couple minutes to.
Well, so then there'd be an amount of
time.
time, right? How much time do I need to study it? Every morning, you're saying?
Yes,
All right.
I think we're getting.
Then I will incorporate that into my ritual. Then, if it's gonna be every morning, if I'm gonna have to look at it all the time, then I will. It's that simple. I'm not gonna try and play it off and be like, oh, I was just wondering if I could just clock it or not. Nope. Cool.
No, not with the path you're choosing to take. Currently.
That is fair and answered my question. Okay. I will at least wait until everybody is done eating before I start walking in any direction.
Well, yes. Everyone watches you, walk around in the circles, then orientate yourself with the maps. Does anyone have any responses to this, Severin?
I still wasn't done with Deidre there, in all honesty. I know she was saying there was a secondary caravan that we were supposed to meet up with if we agreed to the contract. Does she know whether they've already left and we'll meet up with them some point? Like, maybe we don't have to sign the contract, but, the last few days, maybe we can meet up with them. I don't know exactly what route they were taking, or if that ship's already sailed.
That ship is sailed, and she can't accurately answer any of those questions, as she's not a part of the caravan.
I was gonna say the exact same thing. I might have known what I thought they were gonna do, but that doesn't mean they didn't change the plan at the last second and go a different direction. And since we didn't join them, I can't. So.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
As much as I would love to tell you that I know exactly where they are and this is how long it'll take to catch up to them, if they decided to go a different path, we could be walking ourselves into a dangerous path.
She can tell you the stops they tended to make, though, if you're interested.
Yeah, do
sure.
I have to roll for that?
I think that could either. I think that could be something covered later, because I would be interested, but it looks like we have a path that we're going to be following anyways. So,
did we already talked about the Sons of Alderton? Like I know we learned about this tattoo, but like I feel like that's the one thing
you haven't really as a group talked about it. So now's a great time to bring that up before you. Now's a great time to talk about the things that have happened and transpired before you continue on your adventure.
So Zath to Deirdre would be like, "Do you still have that tattoo you took off that guy?"
I would go into my pack and take out a beautifully preserved and pressed piece of skin.
It's so fucking metal.
I'm glad you preserved it.
So we all know of this, right? I feel like we rolled for this. So we all know we've all seen this before. Does anybody know anything about the Sons of Alderton? I don't remember how the rules went before.
Yeah, I don't either.
I think we all have some general knowledge, but a few of us might have a little bit more knowledge.
I would say enough time has passed that you could roll a history check on the Sons of Alderton if you'd like to.
All right, sounds good. Damn it.
Oh! 2 crit history checks in a row.
You're welcome.
Nice.
Hey. 2 nat 20s in the group. It would make sense for me too, given stuff.
So I will say that Deirdre and Lucian, the Sons of Alarim, they are this fanatic cult that wish to bring about the rule of Old Alarim and impose the pro-human laws that were in place. Zasha and Deirdre, you both know that the Sons of Alarim are this.
You mean Zasha and Clover? Because that was the
Zasha.
21 and 22.
Yes, thank you. Zasha and Clover, you both know that the Sons of Alarim are this nationwide cult that has different regional pockets, but there is a structure to their organization. Severin, you don't necessarily, because of your monastic upbringing for the last 10 years, you don't. It's not that you know specific information about the Sons of Alarim, but because you were part of a similarly structured organization, you understand that for them to operate on the field that they operate and in the numbers they operate, they need to have some sort of centralized government. And if you could pinpoint where their leadership was operating out of, you could potentially shut the whole cult down.
I am not going to divulge that information until there's something to do with that information.
The only point Zathario's trying to make bringing it up is that these guys are, like, you know, they found us in the middle of nowhere with this caravan. They're connected. We need to be on the lookout for them. So while we may not have any trouble with the guards if we're minding our P's and Q's, like, we are efficient, like, just kind of making known and saying, like, this is what we need to be on the lookout for, because these guys are clearly out to get Severin.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I don't even really need a history check to realize that if they want to bring back the old ways of the old ways of my father, then I'm probably important to them for a very specific reason. I don't really need a history check to figure that out.
Well, not to be back to the traveling with the dragonborn tiefling elf and what were you, Clover? Not a pixie, but sprite.
Sprite.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. I was just going to bring that up. We are an auspicious group. We are very noticeable, no matter what route we take.
I would say we're more noticeable in a big caravan than we are in by ourselves, though. We can pick and choose our own routes. We can avoid dangers easier when we spot them before they spot us. We can go around. Right? It's easier to route our path than it is to route an entire caravan's.
That's not the question anymore. Deidre already let us know that we're on our own. The only question is like, you know, which route are we taking? And I think Zath was just trying to rightfully inform us that we have
I'm not.
various people on our tails.
Shit,
so,
No, I'm not. I don't know. No issue with that.
But on that note, I'm ready to follow Severin.
I will say, if we ever see that goblin again, please let me know, guys. I got something I gotta give him. As I lift up my hammer, put on my shield, and start walking.
So, if we know the route and everybody's rested and fed, shall we tally ho? Journey forth? Autobots roll out?
On the road.
Unless anyone has anyone to interject, and I would allow you to speak up now.
Or hold your peace until we roll initiative.
I offer my backpack, a little tiny thing I've rigged up with a piece of plywood and some rope during the night for Clover to sit on. So it's not a full thing. It's not going to do anything mechanically. Just a nice place for her to sit on because she's been using me as her pack mule for now.
I think
she already
built something for that, right? Yeah.
I was saying that she already rolled something that's way better than that, so you don't even need to worry about it. And she definitely has a nice, comfortable spot on your pack to Right on.
I want to point one thing out before we disappear for the night about this, and that is you're worried about Clover getting saddle sores while Severin is walking around barefoot.
Nah,
Yeah, just throwing that out there.
Severin's got his own
Just
thing
throwing
on,
that
though.
out
He's worried
there.
about whether or not his feet hurt. Right?
I think you got us confused there, friend.
No, I just the juxtaposition is humorous. That's all I'm saying.
Well, you also got to take into consideration too. You've been a monk of Ilmater for what?
10 years.
Decade plus now.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure at this point that the entire sole of your foot is just one giant callus.
It's basically a leather. It's basically a leather shoe at this point, right? Just
Exactly.
Your feet look like Zasha's face, scarred up, scaly, and tough as fuck. You're fine, man. Don't worry about it.
I know. It was just a funny. Yeah.
So with that, Clover, since you are being so well taken care of, give me a D100 roll to determine what will happen next session.
Oh dear God! What?
Oh, Clover, you can do it. Roll big.
Roll for that random encounter.
25.
Ancient White Dragon.
25. The group sets off, leaving behind the wagon that is, honestly, if there's anything you don't need, throw in the fucking wagon. Some random person's going to come by and steal it. Maybe not. Maybe their leader. But you can't take this wagon with you. There is maybe some mundane supplies, a torch or two, maybe a half a day's ration. But the group ventures off into the horizon, and that's where we'll end tonight's session.
Nice.
Excellent.
Excellent. So, thank you everyone for tuning in. It was a wonderful session. Thank you guys for being in my favor.
Quick shout out to who was it? Meowrina, who joined the stream for the first time tonight. So thank you for joining us, Meowrina. Thank you for being a new member who is the best part of Sputter Media, our audience. And look forward to seeing you guys next week, or not next week, on seeing you guys on Tuesday for Cyber Nights. And I have a brief announcement. I still have to discuss this with the players involved, but one of the things I want to throw out there is the Cyberpunk Red subreddit is doing a special event for the memorial of the death of Johnny Silverhand, which is August 20th, 2023. That is the day Johnny Silverhand nukes Arasaka Tower, and that is literally 6 days from now is 7 days from now. It's next Sunday. And so I am possibly going to be streaming live my table that I am running for the official Artel Saurian event, because I am running one of the event tables. So
Nice.
I'm going to make sure that all of the players who are participating are okay with being live streamed or recorded. I'm not sure which one it'll be, but I will be doing the event at noon Pacific time next Sunday. So a week from today is the official event.
Nice.
Stay tuned. I will know for sure by Tuesday and announce on Cyber Nights whether or not we will be live streamed or recording or not, because players are shy, and but yeah, this is a huge worldwide event that they're doing to honor the most popular character of Cyberpunk.
Pan Am. Shut up.
I meant like of the entire genre, not the video game. Okay. All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and we will be heading out. Say your goodbyes. Say your goodnights.
Good night, everybody.
Good to be here.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.